There are nights you pray and still replay the same thoughts. Not because you don't believe in love, but because you've been hurt enough to question anything that feels too peaceful. You start asking yourself, is this real? Am I seeing clearly? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm about to be embarrassed again? And the most exhausting part is this. The love might be steady, but your mind keeps shaking. So let this be the moment your spirit takes the lead again. Angels say, release the doubt around this love, because if God aligned it, fear can't break what He joined. Subscribe now and stay connected, because this isn't entertainment you play once. This is the kind of steady voice that keeps you grounded when fear tries to rewrite what God confirmed in quiet ways. Now listen gently. Doubt is not always a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes doubt is simply the echo of what you survived. When you've had to recover from betrayal, inconsistency, manipulation, abandonment, or disappointment, your brain learns to treat love like danger. It becomes trained to scan for threats. It assumes that calm is a trick, that kindness is temporary, that effort will fade, that commitment is a mask. So when God brings you something aligned, fear doesn't show up as a monster. Fear shows up as wisdom. Fear whispers, be careful. Fear whispers, don't get too happy. Fear whispers, don't trust. Fear whispers, find the flaw before it finds you. And if you don't recognize fear's voice, you'll mistake it for discernment and end up doubting the very thing you prayed for. But angels are not telling you to be reckless. They're telling you to stop letting fear sit on the throne. Because there's a difference between discernment and fear. Discernment is calm, patient, clear. Fear is urgent, suspicious, exhausting. Discernment helps you observe fruit. Fear makes you accuse without evidence. Discernment builds boundaries. Fear builds walls. Discernment asks honest questions. Fear creates panic stories. So the issue is not whether you should be careful. The issue is what kind of careful you're practicing. Careful with wisdom or careful with worry? Here is a truth that will steady you. When God aligns something, the enemy doesn't always attack it by breaking the relationship directly. Often, the enemy attacks it by breaking your confidence. He tries to make you doubt what's good. He tries to make you interpret peace as weakness. He tries to make you question consistency because you're used to chaos. He tries to make you sabotage what's building by turning you into an investigator instead of a builder. That's why this title is not just spiritual language, it's strategy. If God aligned it, fear can't break what He joined. Unless fear convinces you to pull your hands away from what you're supposed to steward. So let's talk about alignment, because some people use God aligned it as an excuse to ignore red flags. That's not what we do here. Alignment is not intensity. Alignment is not chemistry. Alignment is not a moment. Alignment is fruit over time. Alignment is two people moving in the same direction with honor, responsibility, and maturity. Alignment is when the relationship produces peace and growth, not confusion and bondage. Alignment doesn't make you smaller. Alignment refines you, strengthens you, and stabilizes you. And that's why fear hates alignment, because alignment is how generational cycles break. Alignment is how you stop repeating old patterns. Alignment is how you finally build a safe home. So fear tries to interrupt the process early before fruit becomes undeniable. Now, Let's bring this into your real life. Some of you are doubting not because your partner is doing wrong, but because people around you are loud. You were fine until you told someone. You were steady until somebody made a comment. You were peaceful until someone's opinion planted a question. And now you're carrying their voices in your mind like they're evidence. Listen, opinions are not proof. Commentary is not confirmation. The crowd does not have spiritual authority over your destiny. The crowd is not living your life. The crowd will not carry your marriage. The crowd will not pay the price of your loneliness if you walk away from something healthy. So why is the crowd holding the microphone in your thoughts? This is what angels are correcting. Stop outsourcing your discernment. Because here's what happens when you keep doubting. You start changing. You become guarded. You become distant. You become short. You start asking questions with an accusing tone instead of a curious tone. You start testing them with silence. You'll start creating problems to see if they'll stay. You'll start pulling away first so you can't be left. And you call it protecting yourself, but it's actually fear controlling you. And fear doesn't protect love. Fear poisons love. So today, you're going to take your power back with a simple shift. You stop following feelings that come from fear, and you start following fruit that comes from truth. Let's define the fruit that shows up when God aligns a connection. Because God aligned, it will always leave evidence. Not perfect people, but clear fruit. Fruit looks like consistent respect. You don't feel humiliated. You don't feel played with. You don't feel like you're begging for basic kindness. Fruit looks like steady effort. You're not the only one building. You're not carrying everything. You're not doing all the emotional work. Fruit looks like maturity under pressure. When something goes wrong, they don't become cruel. They don't disappear. They communicate and repair. Fruit looks like boundaries being honored. Your no is respected. Your pace is respected. Your values are respected. Fruit looks like your peace increasing over time, not a rush of chaos, not constant confusion, peace that grows. Now ask yourself honestly, has this love been producing those fruits? If yes, fear has been lying to you. If no, then your discernment is doing its job and you need to slow down and reevaluate. Either way, you stop doubting blindly and start discerning clearly. Because the goal is not to cling to a relationship. The goal is to build a covenant that can carry legacy. And covenant requires clarity. So here's the next truth. Fear can't break what God joined, but fear can delay what God joined. Fear can slow your progress by keeping you stuck in constant hesitation. It can keep you stuck in half love, present but not fully present, committed but not fully committed, building but not fully building. And that's why you feel tired. Doubt is exhausting because it demands you redecide every day. One day you're hopeful, the next day you're panicked. One day you're confident, the next day you're suspicious. One day you feel aligned, the next day you feel ashamed. That cycle is not love. That cycle is anxiety. So angels are calling you into a new pattern, steady progression, not rushing, not retreating, steady progression. And steady progression requires structure. Here's structure that ends doubt. First, you stop making decisions during emotional spikes. When fear hits, you pause. You pray, you breathe, you sleep. You don't text a breakup message from a triggered place. You don't start an argument to release tension. You don't withdraw to punish. You let your nervous system settle, because divine things get damaged when decisions are made in panic. Second, you bring your doubts into the light in the right way, not to the crowd inside the relationship. Doubt grows in silence. Fear grows in secrecy. So you communicate calmly. I'm feeling pressure and I don't want it to affect us. I want clarity and steadiness between us. A spouse-level person won't punish you for that. They'll respect it. They'll build with you. They'll meet you in maturity. Third, you tighten access. Not everyone gets details. Not everyone gets updates. Not everyone gets to comment on your process. Privacy is protection. Privacy is not shame. Privacy is the gate that keeps seeds safe while they grow. Fourth, you measure the relationship by patterns, not moments. Anyone can be amazing for a weekend. Patterns reveal the truth. Is the effort consistent? Is the respect consistent? Is the communication improving? Is the peace increasing? Patterns answer doubt better than opinions ever will. Now let's talk about the most important part. Fear often attacks what God joined by attacking your identity. It whispers, you always choose wrong. It whispers, you can't trust yourself. It whispers, you're not worthy of steady love. It whispers, this won't last. It whispers, you'll be left. And if you believe those lies, you will start behaving like a person who expects loss. You will sabotage before you can be disappointed. You will distance before you can be abandoned. You will become hard so you can't be hurt. But hardness doesn't heal you. Hardness only delays your wholeness. So here is healing truth. Your past mistakes do not disqualify your future alignment. Your old patterns are not your identity. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to choose differently. You are allowed to receive a love that is steady. You are allowed to experience peace without waiting for the next problem. And God does not align you with someone just to tease you. God doesn't send peace to trick you. God doesn't open doors to humiliate you. When He aligns, He also equips. Now, since this message is marriage-minded, let's bring it to covenant level. A lot of people say they want marriage, but they keep dating like they want entertainment. Covenant requires a different mindset. Covenant requires you to build, not just feel. And that means you must have the conversations that fear tries to avoid. Where is this going? What does commitment mean to you? What are your values? What are your boundaries with friends and distractions? How do you handle money and responsibility? How do you handle conflict and repair? What does marriage look like? To you, what kind of home are we building? These questions don't kill alignment. They reveal alignment. A person who is truly aligned will not run from clarity. They will respect it. They will lean into it. And here's the key. Fear hates clarity. Because clarity turns vague love into accountable love. Clarity exposes people who want convenience. Clarity strengthens people who want covenant. That's why fear tells you, don't ask too much. Fear tells you, don't be too serious. Fear tells you, just go with the flow. But go with the flow is how people waste years. Go with the flow is how people build attachment without alignment. Go with the flow is how people end up begging for commitment from someone who never planned to build. You are not doing that anymore. So angels say, stop doubting this love meaning. Stop doubting in a way that makes you passive and confused. Replace doubt with discernment. Replace fear with structure. Replace panic with prayer and evidence. Now let's address the part you might be afraid to admit. Some of you keep doubting because you're scared to hope again. Hope feels risky when you've been disappointed. Hope feels like you're giving life permission to hurt you. So you keep a little doubt as a shield. You tell yourself, I'm just being realistic. But what you're really doing is trying to soften the impact of a future pain that hasn't even happened. And that constant emotional bracing keeps you from fully receiving what might be good. So here's a gentle challenge. Stop rehearsing loss. Stop feeding your imagination with endings. Stop acting like peace is temporary. If something is aligned, you will still move wisely, but you will not starve it with suspicion, because suspicion doesn't protect you. It just steals your joy early. Now, I want to give you a simple filter that ends overthinking. Does this relationship make it easier to obey God or harder? Does it pull you toward prayer or pull you away from peace? Does it build your integrity or pressure your compromise? Does it strengthen your character or feed your worst habits? Alignment draws you toward wholeness. Misalignment pulls you toward confusion. This question will clarify a lot. And if your answer is that this love has been making you better, more patient, more disciplined, more honest, more stable, then hear this clearly. You are not wrong for receiving it. You are not naive for being hopeful. You are not foolish for building. And you do not let fear dictate your next move. So what do you do today, right now, after hearing this? You choose steadiness. You choose clarity. You choose boundaries. You choose fruit. You choose prayer over panic. You choose communication over coldness. You choose to stop giving outside voices decision-making power. And you choose to let time confirm what God initiated. Because what God joins has a grace on it. It doesn't mean there will be no tests. It means tests won't destroy it when both people choose maturity. It means fear won't have the final word when you stay grounded in truth. Now keep your heart open and your standards firm. Keep your spirit soft and your boundaries strong. Keep building quietly. Keep watching fruit. And refuse the cycle of doubt that steals your peace before anything has even gone wrong. Because refusing the cycle of doubt doesn't mean you become careless. It means you become anchored. It means you stop letting your emotions drive the car while your wisdom sits in the back seat. And this is where the message gets very practical. When God aligns something, it carries grace, but grace still requires stewardship. Grace doesn't remove responsibility. Grace gives you strength to build correctly. So let's talk about what fear actually tries to do. Fear doesn't always show up as panic. Sometimes fear shows up as control. It makes you want to control the pace, control the outcome, control the narrative, control what people think, control how the relationship looks, control how you're perceived. And when you can't control it, you start feeling unsafe. But control is not safety. Control is anxiety pretending it has authority. Safety is built through truth, consistency, and mutual effort. And that's why fear keeps pushing you toward extremes. Either rush to secure it, or sabotage to avoid being hurt. But the love God aligns isn't sustained by rushing or sabotaging. It's sustained by maturity. Here is the truth that changes everything. Fear cannot break what God joined, but fear can make you mishandle what God joined. Fear can make you respond wrongly. Fear can make you misinterpret silence. Fear can make you assume the worst. Fear can make you speak harshly. Fear can make you withdraw. Fear can make you punish instead of communicate. Fear can make you start checking for problems like a detective instead of building like a partner. And the relationship starts feeling heavy. Not because it's wrong, but because fear keeps creating a storm where there should be structure. So the question becomes, how do you keep fear from becoming the third person in your relationship? You do it with boundaries. Yes, but not just boundaries with people. Boundaries with your own mind. You start refusing thoughts that don't have evidence, who start rejecting narratives that only come from trauma. You start challenging the voice that says it's going to end when nothing has ended. You start demanding proof from your fear, because fear loves to speak in conclusions without receipts. This is the discipline. You don't let one bad day rewrite a whole story. You don't let one delayed reply turn into they don't care. You don't let one disagreement turn into we're not aligned. You don't let one outside comment turn into maybe this is wrong. Mature love doesn't collapse under normal human moments. Mature love communicates through them. And that's why I need you to stop treating fear like it's protecting you. Fear is not your protector. Discernment is your protector. Standards are your protector. Prayer is your protector. Time is your protector. Clarity is your protector. Fear is just loud. Now listen, some of you are doubting because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You've had experiences where things started sweet and then shifted. So your mind is braced. But bracing keeps you from receiving. Bracing keeps you from building intimacy. Bracing keeps you from resting. And you cannot build a peaceful home while your heart is constantly on guard. Marriage needs softness, not weakness softness. Softness with boundaries. Softness with wisdom. Softness that says, I will love honestly, and I will also watch fruit. So let's talk about fruit again, but in a deeper way. People think fruit is only, are they kind and are they consistent? That's the start, not the whole picture. Fruit also includes how they respond when they don't get their way. Fruit includes how they act around temptation. Fruit includes how they handle stress. Fruit includes how they behave when you ask for clarity. Fruit includes whether they can be accountable without becoming defensive. Fruit includes whether they can lead themselves, not just charm you. Because fear tries to break what God joined by making you focus on feelings instead of foundations. Feelings are important, but foundations decide the future. So here are foundation questions that quiet fear. Do we have shared values? Do we communicate in a way that leads to repair? Are we both consistent, or am I carrying the weight? Do we both respect boundaries, or does one person always push? Is there transparency, or do I always feel like I'm guessing? Do our actions match our words? Does the connection push both of us toward maturity? Is peace increasing over time? When these answers are strong, fear has no legal ground. Fear can scream, but it won't be able to prove its case. Now, I'm going to touch a sensitive truth. Sometimes fear is loud because your life is changing. You're used to being independent. You're used to doing everything alone. You're used to controlling your environment. And now, love is asking. You're to share space emotionally. Love is asking you to be seen. Love is asking you to trust. Love is asking you to build with another person. That shift can feel terrifying, even when the person is good. Because independence, when it's been used as protection, becomes an identity. So the moment you start receiving steady love, fear says, don't lose control. But control isn't the goal. Covenant is. And covenant requires this, the courage to be honest. Not dramatic honesty, mature honesty. Honesty that says, I'm feeling pressure. I don't want it to poison us. Honesty that says, I'm still healing, but I'm committed to building healthy. Honesty that says, clarity matters to me because I'm not playing with my future. A person aligned with you won't punish honesty. They'll respect it. They won't run from clarity. They'll lean into it. Now, the enemy loves vague love. Vague love is where fear thrives. Vague love is where confusion multiplies. Vague love is where one person assumes, the other person avoids, and both people get hurt. That's why you don't. Just go with the flow when you want marriage. Flow without direction becomes drift. Drift wastes years. Drift creates attachment without alignment. Drift creates situations where people say, I thought we were building, and the other says, I never agreed to that. Not because someone is evil, because clarity was avoided. So this is what you do instead. You bring the relationship into the light of clear direction. You talk about commitment. You talk about timelines with maturity, not pressure. You talk about boundaries with friends and outside influences. You talk about money habits, responsibility, and lifestyle. You talk about faith and values. You talk about how you both handle conflict and repair. You talk about what kind of home you want. And you don't do it to scare them. You do it to protect both of you. Aligned people don't fear these conversations. They appreciate them because they know the cost of building without a blueprint. Now, let's address how fear tries to break what God joined through comparison. Comparison is a quiet poison. It makes you compare your partner to what you imagined. Compare your relationship to what you see online. Compare your timeline to someone else's timeline. Compare your story to people who post highlights and hide reality. And comparison makes you undervalue what you have. It makes you question a blessing because it doesn't look like someone else's blessing. It makes you feel behind when you're actually being built properly. This is your discipline. Stop measuring your love by someone else's script. Your relationship is not a performance for spectators. It's a foundation for your future. Spectators don't pay your bills. Spectators don't heal your heart. Spectators don't raise your children. Spectators don't carry your storms. So why let spectators shape your decisions? Another way fear attacks is by dragging your past into your work. Present. It makes you punish today's person for yesterday's pain. It makes you assume motives. It makes you read danger into neutral moments. It makes you interpret normal human mistakes like they're signs of betrayal. But you must be careful. Healing requires you to stop projecting. If they are showing respect and effort, don't assign them the role of someone who hurt you. Let them be who they are. and let fruit reveal who they are over time. And if there are real concerns, real red flags, you don't ignore them, but you also don't dramatize them. You bring them into clear conversation. You watch response. You watch change. You watch consistency, because safety is not proved by perfect words, it's proved by humble behavior. Now, listen closely. Fear can't break what he joined, but fear tries to break your peace first. It tries to make you lose your calm. It tries to make you react, because once you're reacting, you're easier to influence. You'll say things you don't mean. You'll do things you regret. You'll create distance. You'll create suspicion. You'll start controlling. And eventually you're not fighting for love, you're fighting your own anxiety. That's why peace is a weapon. Peace is not passive. Peace is power. Peace is you refusing to be dragged into panic. So here's a practice that will change your relationship immediately. When fear rises, do not move first. Pause first. Pause before you accuse. Pause before you withdraw. Pause before you send that long message. Pause before you assume. Pause before you cut them off. Pause before you make a permanent decision from a temporary emotion. Give yourself space to return to your highest self, because you are not building for a moment. You are building for legacy. And legacy requires discipline. Now, I want to speak to the person who has been doubting because you're afraid of wasting time. That fear is real. Nobody wants to invest in something that collapses. But here's the truth. Wisdom is what protects your time, not suspicion. Wisdom protects your time by requiring clarity early, by watching patterns, by keeping boundaries, by refusing to overgive, by avoiding fantasy, and by letting time confirm character. Suspicion only creates tension. Wisdom creates structure. So instead of repeating, "What if it fails?" ask better questions. Is the effort mutual? Is respect consistent? Is there transparency? Is this person growing? Are they serious about building? Do they honor my standards? Better questions create better outcomes. Now, let's bring it to the title again, because it's the center of everything. Stop doubting this love. That doesn't mean stop thinking. It means stop living in unstable hesitation. It means stop redeciding every day. It means stop giving fear the authority to make you cold. It means stop letting fear train you to expect loss. Because fear loves to rehearse endings. Fear loves to imagine heartbreak before there's heartbreak. Fear loves to steal today's joy by inventing tomorrow's pain. And that constant rehearsal becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start acting like it's ending, and your partner starts feeling pushed away. You start treating them like they're leaving, and they start feeling untrusted. You start bracing instead of bonding, and the closeness you need never gets built. So you break that cycle by doing something simple but powerful. You replace fear rehearsals with truth rehearsals. Truth rehearsal sounds like, I'm allowed to receive healthy love. I don't need to sabotage peace. I will communicate. Instead of assume, I will watch fruit, not panic. I will keep boundaries and keep softness. I will not let outside voices control my home. I will build, not perform. Say it again. Truth rehearsals replace fear rehearsals. Now, this message is not only about your relationship. It's about who you are becoming. Because the person who can keep a guard-aligned love is not the person with the most perfect feelings. It's the person with emotional maturity. It's the person who can stay grounded under pressure. It's the person who can receive love without testing it with pain. It's the person who can be soft without being careless, firm without being harsh, clear without being controlling, patient without being passive. That's the spouse mindset, and you are stepping into it right now. So, here is your final anchor. What God joins carries a grace that fear cannot cancel. Fear can scream, but it cannot override divine alignment. Fear can whisper, but it cannot rewrite truth. Fear can try to confuse you, but it cannot destroy what is built with wisdom, clarity, and mutual honor. If you and your partner keep choosing maturity, fear will lose its grip. Because fear thrives in vagueness and secrecy. It dies in clarity and consistency. And now you're going to do what fear hates. You're going to stay steady. You're going to build with structure. You're going to protect your peace. You're going to keep your standards high and your heart open. You're going to stop letting past pain narrate your future. You're going to stop letting people's opinions become your direction. You're going to stop doubting what has been producing good fruit. Subscribe now. Not later. Not after another video. Not after you forget this feeling now. Staying connected keeps you consistent, and consistency is how you win against fear. These messages are not random motivation. They are maintenance for your mind and protection for your future. Like this, so it reaches the person who is seconds away from sabotaging something aligned out of panic. And comment, fear can't break what God joined. Speak it with conviction, because what you speak becomes what you stand on.